Welcome to tonight's Fanzone show / match review show. Yes, my voice is completely fucked. I don't honestly, after last night's game, I'm guessing most voices are gone. But Phil is away still for the next week or so. So I'm taking over. Yes, there was no show yesterday. But tonight there'll be a review show. Sorry. Get your comments and get your views in as always, and we'll get straight into the show.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors: Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms. For exclusive extra shows, behind the scenes, competitions and podcasts, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV today on Patreon.
Yes, as always, get your comments and get your views in. This is the channel where it's run by fans, for the fans, of course. Bubba, yes, I did, mate, unfortunately. It was unfortunately, I think we deserved to get a point out of that game last night. Got a bit chaotic near the end of the game, wasn't it? After we scored, it was very, very good atmosphere. Ian, welcome, mate. Even though it's not Phil, good performance in the second half. Last night, more of that in the same Saturday, please. Yep, Foxes never quit. Of course not, mate. A win would be nice. Yes, I agree. Boohoo, welcome, mate. Hope you're well, mate. Oh, I am well. Just like I say, a bit shattered from yesterday. Still, I can still feel it now. Great result considering how we played first half. 1 point, less to survive. Yep. John O'Don Towers says, is Daka still the GOAT? Well, as you can see in the title, mate, no, he is not, because the main man came on the team sheet, and we all had a bit of an inkling that he would start. About 12 hours before or so, whatever it was, we heard a little rumour that he could have been starting, and I'm so glad he did, because I think without him, I don't think there was any chance in us winning that game, if I'm totally honest. I feel like Tom Cannon wouldn't have been in that position as well. That's just my opinion. I think there's many players that I don't think had to be in that position, but Vardy knows where to be at the right time. Andy says we can't keep turning up second half. Well, mate, if we get the draw or get a win and we only turn up in the second half, it's more than happy for me. Any more comments before we do start and get locks in? Rodov, obviously, with the heart and the goat as well. And then Clippo also says, great result, but does it paper over the glaringly obvious holes in the team? I hope they back Cooper. I'm already a fan. Yeah. There's obviously a few things that were still an issue yesterday, in my opinion, which we obviously will voice tonight and get your opinions on it as well. I felt like, yes, Cooper was a big reason why we did come out in the second half differently and it worked well. But then maybe it was because maybe the players just gave Spurs too much respect in the first half and we didn't really get stuck in. Which, if we did it for the whole game, would we have been worse in the second half because we would have been more tired? I don't know. But it was good to see. And obviously, when we scored, it was a completely different game. And I felt like without the injury, in my opinion, we actually could have got a win out of that game. I felt like the momentum was totally on our side. I don't think Spurs had a chance, and I've honestly felt that we could have got. I've honestly felt we could have got a win out of that game if that injury didn't happen. But then again, I hope Bentancur is okay. Last comment before we do bring the guests in. Vestergaard is a GOAT. Do you know what? He had a brilliant game yesterday. I can't lie. Got all the headers in, got the blocks in. Can't ask for much more, can you? We'll bring in Locks first. Here he is. How you doing, mate?
I'm all good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Doesn't sound like your voice has gone anytime soon, no?
No, mate. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Were you there at the game, or?
No, I'm joking.
Were you there at the game, or?
Say again, mate.
Were you there at the game?
I wasn't, mate. I wasn't.
No.
Armchair, mate. Armchair.
Well, Locks, there's a lot to talk about from the game. First of all, we'll talk about the lineup. I think it was pretty much close to what we expected from what we had rumoured around. No Ricardo. Buonanotte did start in the midfield that we did expect as well. And then obviously we did Corver Reed, which was a bit of an odd one to say that Mavididi was the one that started all season last season and started a lot of games in pre-season. What was your thoughts on that?
For me, it's quite simple. It was just tactical. So he wanted Victor Christensen to be the fullback that bombed forward. He wanted that to happen on the left side. And for that to happen, you need the right back to come in as a centre back. Ricardo doesn't suit that. JJ does. So that's why it happened. I agree with it in terms of we saw the exact same on the flip side in pre-season in one of the games, Shrewsbury, I think, where Fatu was the one playing as kind of inverted instead of Decord over Reed yesterday. I don't agree with that at all. I think Fatu has to be high and wide. I don't want him coming inside. I want him as an out-and-out winger. So, yeah, I think it's fine. It raises an eyebrow a little bit over Ricardo and how much of a role he's going to play this season. Maybe this is a system that will be best used against the stronger sides. So maybe we won't see that against a Fulham or a Forest or an Ipswich. So maybe Ricardo comes in for them games. But yeah, it worked at the end of the day. It was a risk. I'm seeing people say plan B. I don't really see it like that personally. I don't think it was a plan B as such in the second half. I think it was more that they said it after the match. They allowed Tottenham too much respect. They gave them too much respect in the first half. They let them have the ball basically, which I think is an okay thing to do against maybe Man City and Arsenal. But Tottenham are shaky sometimes. They were there for the taking. And so we obviously went at them a bit more in the second half, and obviously we made it count with the goal. So
yeah, we'll go into that first half then. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest start. Obviously, I was off my seat majority of the time, hopefully not seeing his first score, but it was constant corners and shots on goal, which again we did well to stop, but it didn't feel like we were going to get much out of the game at that point. We could have been 2 or 3 or even 4-0 down by half time, which good for us that we didn't, but it could have been a different story, couldn't it?
Yeah, mate, for sure. I think, Cooper admitted after the game that it was his fault because, again, like I just said, I think it was kind of his instruction to the lads to say, let them have the ball and whatever and show them respect. So, obviously, he changed that then in the second half, told them to go for it a bit more. In the first half, we were very, very lucky to not be 3 or 4-0 down in the first half, 100%. They had a lot of chances. If it was a Man City, if it was a Haaland, I think Solanke's a good buy for them, but I think it was probably nerves in his first game. I think if Haaland was there instead, even Kane, it would be a different story going into the second half, and it would be too late to kind of have that resurgence from us. We would have probably got beaten. So, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's just how football is. We did only go in 1-0 down, and obviously we had a chance to score one. Shocking, really, from them, to be honest with you. They really should have scored more. But yeah, Maddison ran the show as well in the first half, to be honest with you, to be fair to him. Didn't celebrate. I know he didn't score, but I think Porro went to do the darts and Maddison told him to stop. So, but I think that's all I don't know. I don't know. I don't really get it. I don't get the politics behind it. If I was a footballer and I scored against my club, I'd be celebrating. And some fans gave him stick, and it's all banter at the end of the day. Look at Vardy, when he went off the pitch. So I can't believe that so much time in the lead up to the game was spent from fans on Twitter talking about whether we should boo him or not. Like, just why are you even talking about it? You know what I mean? If you want to boo him, boo him. If you don't. You know what I mean? It's just that at the end of the day. Stupid.
Yeah. Did you boo him from your seat in your house, or?
No, mate. No, boo every time. Boo. Boo. I was booing Cooper. No, I'm joking.
I'm putting my hands up. I did boo him from the ground.
That
was me. But I don't know. It just felt. I don't know. It didn't look like he would. It was saying me and Sam was saying at the ground that if he did score, I feel like he would have celebrated. I feel like he wouldn't have been that respectful to be like to not celebrate. So I feel like he would have celebrated if he scored. So in my eyes,
I
do you
don't
know
think he
what?
would have.
Boone. I think he would have, but that's just me and how he was playing and whatnot. But here we'll bring in Jono for the Maddison chat. Jono, welcome, mate.
Welcome, Boolocks.
Jono, did you watch the whole game or?
I did. First half was, thinking not if, but how many we concede. But we're lucky off with one. But then second half was we could have challenged most teams in the Premier League with how we play second half. We were brilliant.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Maddison? Like Locke said, he was very, very dominant and controlled the whole game in the first half. I was a bit annoyed because you could see the level above compared to the players we've got right now. So, yeah.
He was played like we played for us, whipping, crossing the ball like so he was so silky. His vision was great when he kept on flicking it down the left to Son. It was but I wouldn't boo him because he got us the FA. He helped with the FA Cup. He brought out flowers for Shaky, which was a really nice moment. So yeah, definitely don't boo him.
Yeah, right. We'll move on then to players who kind of played well or players who didn't play as well. Obviously, I can't really name many players that played badly in my eyes, and this is where Lox is going to be very, very happy for me to say.
I've got one.
I feel like Wilfred Ndidi had a really poor game.
Oh, mate, honestly, I was watching it and I was like, this is perfect right now because I've been telling Reedy all week that Oliver Skipp will be the man to replace Wilfred Ndidi in this team. Look, Wilfred Ndidi from 27, when we signed him, he came in and let's be honest, he was brought in as, not I say Kante replacement, not because he's the exact same player as Kante, but the defensive midfield, the defensive aspect of the midfield. He was quality for years. 2021 onwards, mate, I just think he's been a shadow of the player. I think I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened, but he just seems to have dropped off it. Enzo obviously played him last season as an advanced state, and he did well at championship level. He could never play that role in the Premier League. And I just feel like yesterday as well, we saw it, yes, he can get his leg in. Yes, he can make clearances like he did. But as soon as he's on the ball, I just don't think he's calm enough. I don't think he's composed enough. He makes rash decisions. We saw, do you remember the Villa game the year we got relegated? Where Bertrand Traore, and Ndidi lashed at it, tried to clear it. It went straight to Bertrand Traore, he scored, and that was a loss. So I just don't think I don't want to say he's not good enough because I think he could play at a lower half Premier League team. But Oliver Skipp, for me, 100% improves the midfield. I think he comes in literally as soon as Fulham. I think he comes in and starts over Wilfred Ndidi. I just think he offers a bit more in the midfield.
Don't get me wrong. I don't think he had an awful game.
No, he didn't.
Like Canal says, he did do a lot of stuff off the ball and make the crucial clearance on the line near the start of the game. But I think the only part of him that I really let him down yesterday was his passing, because there was many times where the ball could have gone straight through the middle or down the wing, and it just wasn't good enough because he didn't even get it to the player. So don't get me wrong. I'm not slating him, but I'm gonna give Skip a chance because he didn't perform against Spurs, and maybe Wilfred Ndidi might be a good backup to Skip as a substitute.
Well, this is what I was saying, because people, rightly so, say the priority is a number 10, the priority is a striker. I understand that, but if we'd already signed the striker and the 10, and then we brought Skip in, no one would be moaning, because it strengthens the depth. It's competition. Wilfred Ndidi at the moment is like, well, I'm safe. My spot's safe in the team because I'm better than Hamza Chowdhury, so I'm all good. Whereas Skip now comes in, challenges him. 100% it challenges him, and it makes him, he needs to improve. But I think Skip will start. And again, I agree with what people are saying. He wasn't terrible, but I just think the on the ball, trying to distribute it quickly. Skip is, I saw someone say Wilfred's a destroyer. Trust me, Skip is that as well, because he's really good at tackling. He's really good at interception. He's good at reading the game and his awareness, his positional awareness. in the defensive areas, but he's also very good at distributing the ball quickly. You see how Winks distributes the ball quickly, but Winks isn't as strong in the defense aspect of it, whereas Skip is kind of a bit of both. So, yeah, I think it's a good addition.
Yeah, John, what were you going to mention about Ndidi?
I'm just going to say, like, I don't think from the bad performances, I think there was two, him and I think Bobby Reid was worse in the way that he gave the ball away. Like on the ball, I don't think he was as confident. I think Bobby Reid should be, I think he should be instead of as subs to Mavididi. I think he wasn't as good at either. So I reckon next game, if we have Mavididi and Skip, will look so much better.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Bobby Reid, for me, I did say at halftime you need to bring Mavididi back on. I think for me, Bobby Reid has to be that player who comes on for someone instead of being the starter. I don't honestly think he was good enough to be a starter. Don't get me wrong, he had a few good chances or good attempts on goal, but he just obviously the first few he got, he miscontrolled it, and then they went off the pitch. But yeah, Andres says different. He says Bobby was good. There was one player that came on that a lot of people wouldn't say would see much of him this season, but he did come on. People are saying he's awful. I have don't get me wrong, it's not me about the Dak situation as well, but I feel like the moment you say Samara's name, people are going to moan at whatever he does. In my eyes, anyway. I don't think he did that bad when he came on. Don't get me wrong, maybe his touch was a bit off at times, but I don't think he was that awful.
Ladies and gentlemen, Reedy strikes again, backing players like Patson Daka and Boubacar Samari, but not players like Oliver Skip. Come on, man.
I don't think he was that bad.
I'm jesting. Look, I think I don't even think it's as I get the lazy claims, but I don't even think it's that. I think he just struggles with the pace of the game in this country. I think he excelled in France for Lille. They won the league as well, didn't they, when we signed him? It's a slower league. Unless you're coming up against the likes of PSG and PSG, it's not easy. Obviously, no professional football's easy, but it's a different type of game. It's a different pace. So I think he struggled with that. Even Spain is slightly slower, and I think he did average in Spain. But I just think I don't think he's one of them. I just think his time's up. I think he came in. He played quite a few minutes in the relegation season. Rodgers kept wanting to get Rodgers, as Rodgers does. He kept playing him to, every now and then to basically see if he could get some out of him. And he didn't really show anything. At times he did, of course. But yeah, I just don't think he's a Leicester City player. I think he needs to leave. I think you cut your losses as well. I think we signed him for was it 20 million? I think you just need to cut your losses, even if you have to let him go for 7. I just think we do it at this point because there's no point of keeping him around, barely playing. His value is going to drop and drop and drop. I think we should have just said to Sevilla or anyone really, Roma, I think, are interested. If Rudkin's doing his usual thing of just trying to get as much money out of it as possible, just take your losses. Just say, fine, 7 million, you can have him, and it's gone. You know what I mean? I don't want another loan. What's the point? Loaning him out again? It's what's the point?
Pointless.
Yeah, there was a few good names to mention as maybe man of the match performance. For one, I think someone said here, Vestergaard was not named in the show already, but he was very good. I agree. I think he had a good game yesterday.
You wanted him dropped for a Coley?
That was only because that was only because of the price tag we got on Okoli. I feel like he had to start, and I'm surprised he didn't start, but it is what it is. I thought he had a good game. People said he was too slow for the league. He did well against Spurs, in my opinion. So.
This is low block football, guys. Pace doesn't really matter at this point. We just need solid defenders.
Thing is, I feel like there's many names we can name. Again, Terence here says Victor Christensen was good. Again, I thought he was decent as well.
Yeah, I thought he was. I love him. Honestly, I love VK. I know he was getting a lot of stick over the summer because his performances in preseason weren't great, but I think he was the best out of the 3 that came in the year we got relegated. Out of Fass, Tete, Suter, and Vestergaard. Fass, Suter, Tete, and Christensen. I preferred Christensen. I think he is one of the most passionate players actually in the team. I remember the year we went down, he was celebrating every corner, every clearance. It's a shame that he went, but let's be honest, I don't think he left because he didn't want to play in the Championship. I think he left because Enzo doesn't play with a traditional left back. And that is why you see Chilwell now not here, leaving Chelsea. It's why you saw Luke Thomas sent out on loan. It's because of that. And I'm really glad he's back. He seems committed. You know, he's been doing posts online as well saying, you know, glad to be back in blue. I don't think he's going anywhere. There were rumours again of him going back to Bologna. I don't think he's going to go, not because of them not paying. I just think he actually wants to be here. So that's good.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I completely
I
agree.
also think it was a breath of fresh air that Steve Cooper went in. Well, end of the game, he said, "I was wrong. First half, we didn't play well. We wasn't working. And he changed everything, and it worked. If that was Enzo, it would have gone, keep doing the same thing. We can catch up. But what Steve Cooper said was such a breath of fresh air. We haven't had that for 2-3 years, I think. We haven't had the manager say that.
Who's honest, you mean?
It was honest. He owned up to his mistakes. He was correct. He didn't do it correctly, but he fixed it, and the players played for him, and we got the reward. It was, breath of fresh air.
Obviously, Vardy got the man of the match because he got the equaliser.
For me, it was Maddison all day. He's my man of the match.
But the only name I could even mention in the game was Buonanotte. Christ, what a debut he had.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The only reason I'm not saying Emerson as well is because his kicking was atrocious.
His saves, though, he kept us in that game.
His kicking was atrocious.
It wasn't the best. Like, I remember when Spurs were getting really pissed off because he had the ball for ages to stall the game, and he kicked it straight to the midfield. It was but his saving was brilliant.
But yeah, going back to Buonanotte, Christ, what a debut. Locks, what was your thoughts on him? Because again, I wasn't too convinced on him just because he was only a loan sign and we can't buy him, which again automatically makes me think he's not going to put any more energy than a normal player would. But to be honest, he put every single bit of energy into that game.
I was a little bit critical of the signing originally, just from the point that what we're basically doing is developing somebody else's player for a year. There is absolutely zero chance that he does sign for us because he's just signed a 4-year deal. On the day he joined us, he signed a 4-year deal at Brighton. His future lies with Brighton. He will be in the Brighton first team this time next year. So on that front, I was a bit disappointed, but I think it's probably, what we need. I get what you're saying because he's a lone player. He's not permanent. How much effort will he put in? I think he's actually going to be all out because he is going to want to impress Brighton. You know, it's as simple as that. He is going to want this come the end of the season. He's going to want to go back to Brighton and have, them pick him in that first team. So I was really impressed, actually. I couldn't really think of anything he did wrong. And in the first half, I think he was actually the only player in our team who actually kept the ball and released the right passes, beat his man. I think he was the only one. He was the shining light in the first half. In the second half, he didn't really stand out because everyone improved. The whole team improved. I agree with what Patrick said. He is a bit weak, but I just think, he's some talent. And to think that we're signing another 10, like Cooper said, to challenge him. We'll have 2 of them basically fighting out again. Competition is probably one of the most important things in a squad, any squad. Don't care if you're fighting for the top of the league or fighting relegation.
Just a side note from that, you're saying about Cooper saying he's buying another 10. Is Mike right in this one? Is he the number 10 we're looking at?
Well, the rumours you talk about were started by me, actually.
Yes, it was your fault.
I have started this rumor. Yeah, so I have heard from someone I believe and trust that.
Who is it? Is he reliable?
Yeah, he's reliable. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, the club are confident that we will be signing Aspria from Watford for 25 million.
I thought he was going to Rennes. I thought it was already like done deal.
So with the Rennes deal, they offered 25. Watford accepted 25, but there was a deadline for the deal and it's passed. So that probably means that the club and the player couldn't agree on a deal, whatever. He's now favourite for Girona, which, you'd think he might like because they are in Champions League. And they are also, it's in Spain, a Colombian, probably the culture-wise, it's Spain is closer to culture than England. But like I said, I believe this guy. I don't have any reason why I wouldn't believe him. He's given me bits of information in the past that were true. So, yeah, apparently the club are confident that they will be signing Asprilla. And it makes sense because we were linked with him earlier in the summer. Also, Cooper said we were signing a 10, and we've looked at Sula, who is a winger that can play 10. We've looked at Nelson, which is a winger that can play 10. And we've got Buenanotte, who's a winger, also a 10. They can play both. So Asprilla makes sense. We'll have to wait and see what happens with it. Let's see if it's a load of BS, but as far as I'm aware, it's true.
There you go. Last thing I was going to mention then, obviously I mentioned at the start, the injury for me really did kill the game. As much as we obviously hope he is well, I honestly feel like that could have changed the game. I honestly think we could have won the game if it wasn't for that injury. Do people agree? Do people don't agree? I honestly thought we were really on top at that point, and without Vardy's miss, which was honestly one of the best pieces of play I've ever seen in that game, ridiculous. What was your thoughts? Do you reckon we could have actually gone and won it if that injury did not happen? Jono?
Yes and no. I didn't think it just killed the game for us. I think it killed the game for both teams. I think Spurs looked knackered. We looked knackered. It was an extra 10 minutes added on, or 9 minutes. So both teams were knackered. I think while the injury happened, it was going to be a draw. But yeah, I agree. If we were so on top, even after Spurs made those changes, we were still on top. So I think we had the really good chance of winning if that injury didn't happen.
Yeah, Blocks, do you agree? Do you believe that we probably could have gone and won it if the injury did not happen?
Yeah, I agree with it. We could have won it. I don't agree with people saying that we deserve to win it because I think if we're going to deserve
to win it.
A draw is fair. They won
the
first half, we won the second half. So
yeah, exactly. I think the people saying we deserve to win just because of the second half need to remember that we should have probably been 4-0 down. So we didn't deserve to win, but it was a hard-fought draw. It was an important draw. Confidence will be high. My worst nightmare would have been conceding late on. Then the confidence goes.
It was the Bergwijn. Oh God,
Yeah, the Berg. Yeah,
that memory is coming back.
Maybe he's going to come as well. Who knows? There's another one.
No chance. He ain't coming to us. No chance.
You might be surprised. Not if Asprilla comes. If Asprilla comes, that'll be it for the winners. Yeah.
But like we said, I think fair result. I think, like I say, on both halves, it was Spurs half, first half, second half was us. Yes, we weren't as clinical as them second half, but I feel like we could have nicked it in the end if it wasn't for the injury. But fair enough. Does anybody know what the injury actually was? I know it was a head injury, but what the actual case was at all?
I think it was was it a clash of heads or what was it?
It was a clash of heads for a header. He went down. I think got knocked out. Then they obviously came back round. Then the staff said that he had concussion. They monitored him for overnight, but he's fine. But yeah, there's bad concussion.
Fair enough.
And I love the new rule about substitutions. You don't have to worry about trying to find another sub. You get an automatic free sub, and the other team gets a free sub as well. So I think that's a really good rule they've introduced.
I think there's one more.
It's right. We only made 3. Didn't need it.
There was a comment in the chat somewhere. Here we go. Andy Meadow says, happy to see no VAR, which, again, on another day, there probably could have been a few handball calls or maybe 1 or 2 penalties. Because I think Spurs had a few kind of calls that there could have been a penalty, but I don't think any of them actually were. But it was nice to see there was no VAR in the first game of the season.
Yeah. We had 30. No, how many games in the Championship?
42, I think. 46, there you go.
46. We've had it for 47 games now, so let's keep the form running. So yes, it's nice not to have it.
Fair enough. And then last moments before we do finish, as we lead into Lox's show on Thursday, what do you think are any changes from this team going into the next team? I'm guessing the one name's going to be Skip, isn't it? So
Who?
I think we'll
Mavididi
see-
for Bobby Reid and Skip for
Mavididi, Bobby Reedy, Wilfred Ndidi.
yeah, Mavididi for Bobby Reid and Ndidi for Skip. They're my two changes, but that's it.
I think we'll see a tactical change. I think we'll have a more of a traditional back four, like as in flat back four, and I think we'll have Ricardo coming for JJ, and we will have Skip for Ndidi and Mavididi for Reed. Maybe he rests Vardy. Don't know. Maybe not. 6 days.
I don't think he will. Honestly.
Well, we might have a new striker by then. Who knows? But I'll tell you one player we won't have is our man. Not that we've been linked with him anyway, but Armando Broja. He's just gone to Ipswich for a loan with obligation to buy for £30 million if they stay up. So
That's
maybe
ridiculous.
that just leaves Datro Fofana. I think we're going to go back in. I think we're going to end up with Datro Fofana personally. That one doesn't go away. It's been linked all summer. Every now and then it comes back up. I think we'll settle for him on a loan, but we'll see.
There you go. And then the last comment of the day says Ryan says Reed will play against Fulham 100%.
No, I hope he doesn't. He's a good player, but 70-minute sub, not start.
Right, cheers, guys.
I just think Johnny don't like his hair. I reckon.
No, he's just not clear. He's
yeah,
not.
I get you. Don't worry, I'm joking.
I know.
John, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you hopefully maybe at the weekend for the watch along.
Yeah, we're going.
If they can be asked.
We're going. Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's come on. I joined on it. Oh, we're not doing it then.
Okay.
But yeah.
Right. Cheers, John.
See you against Fulham.
Yeah, see you in a bit. Lox, Mr. Armchair fan. I'm guessing you're not going Fulham.
No, mate, I'm not going to Fulham.
You going Fulham?
Mate, yeah. Games it's expensive these days, man. You know, unless you've got a season ticket. I've got my membership. I'm trying to get my season ticket, but you have to go to it's like it's like triple the price to go singular tickets and it's thingy. So you've got to pick your games wisely, otherwise you don't get to go on your hollabobs. You know what I mean? Like I'm going in October. So, but no, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully we win against Fulham. I don't think we will. Another draw though, and if it's 2 points from 2 games, I think everyone would have taken that at the start. So
I said to Sam and Jake that I honestly think if you can get a point at Spurs, which again I know it was only the first game of the season and first half we did look very, very different to the second half. If we can get a point against Spurs, you should think we should get at least a point or more out of some teams in this league, surely.
If only football was that simple.
I know, right?
Football was that simple. It'd be easy to say we should get 12 points this season off Ipswich and Saints. We should get, maybe 6 points off Forest, maybe, beat them twice. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. You want to try and draw the games against the better teams and you want to try and beat the ones in and around you. But, like I said, football ain't that easy. And, yeah, we'll just wait and see. I think it's still going to be very, very tough to get wins as long as we don't have these reinforcements in. But I wasn't negative, Neil. I'll tell you what, Neil. And mate, you're right. You ready for this? I don't think I've ever said this on this YouTube channel. I don't think I've ever said this, Neil. Neil, fuck off, mate. I'm not being negative. I'm just saying. Do you disagree then? You think it would be easy to beat Fulham? Nah, mate. If you think that, you are deluded, right? It's tough. These are tough games. Fulham's squad is better than ours, right? So
every game's tough in this league.
Yeah, I'll be buzzing if we draw against Fulham. I'll be buzzing. And we've seen from the second half against Spurs that we're capable. So let's just see if we can.
If you draw every game this season, mate, it's staying up in it. 38 points.
No, because then it's 28 with the deduction.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. Right, Larks, appreciate you jumping on, and we'll catch you on the next show.
Cheers all. Piss off, Neil. Bye.
Thursday at
6:30.
There you go. Couldn't even get his name. It's his time, right? There you go. See you in a bit.
When I wake up, when I remember. Yeah.
There you go. See you in a bit, mate. Last comment of the day then. Terence says, let's make sure we beat Derby's 11 points. Hopefully, mate. We've already got one of them. Just need 10 more. And that'll be it. Right. Appreciate you coming on. And last of all, of course, make sure to subscribe to our Patreon for the latest giveaway on all the shows we are doing, as you'll see on the exit screen. But also check out our Patreon for all exclusive content, and as well as doing a giveaway of the Wink shirt. £3 for 3 tickets, £6 for 6 tickets, and £10 for 10 tickets, of course. And you get all these exclusive bits as well. Obviously, you get player interviews, Blue Van Man interviews, and monthly giveaways, of course. Appreciate you coming on, guys, and we will catch you on Thursday for another, well, a boring show, because it's Locks. Enjoy!
For exclusive extra shows, behind the scenes, competitions and podcasts, subscribe to Leicester Fan TV today on Patreon.